this is the best way to do your wiring. If you're going to use 24 volts, cooling only. Let's say, you know, you don't need heat pump because they have a furnace or they have a boiler and they're fine. You just want to do straight cool. Use the single stage cooling wiring here. You only need 3 wires outside. All right. And this here, you have to jump these together. All right. So when you go to the air handler, everything is labeled. All right. Everything is labeled. So they want you to take the what is it? The YO, the YO, the Y2, and the O. You look for that. Here's Y2. Here's Y. Here's O, and here's Y1. Where's YO? And here's YO. So you would just take these 3 and wire nut them together. That
energizes the reversing valve, right? Because it's 24 volts.
Right, because the reversing valve is default heat. So you have to activate the reversing valve to put it in air conditioning. All right. If you're going to do a heat pump, then you're activating the cooling, reversing valve and cooling. Then you have your W1 and all that stuff. 24 volts to the outside, RC. At the condenser, you're going to see the same thing with the Y, the Y2, the O, and they're telling you to also jump DH. DH is dehumidification. All right, because all we want is a 24 volt signal to come on. Then we're going to allow the board out here. This is the main board. That's the brains of the system. We're going to allow the thermistors that are located in both to operate the unit. That's what we're doing. Give me a 24 volt signal to come on and to come off. All right. But like I mentioned before, there's going to be some functionality that you're going to lose out by not using the communicating thermostat. But it is a simple setup. Now, this is a sticker that I asked engineering to put behind the panel of the indoor unit. Right now, this is all they have. This is all they have. I wanted them to put that on here as well. Even though it's a service book that I'm going to send you, but by having that tells you when you come up to the unit, what's the green light doing, what's the red light doing. All right. The most important thing there is if you ever see the red light on and it stays lit, that's the refrigeration leak detecting that just activated. That should be on here. That way you can look at that, it's like, oh, what's the green light, what's the flashing green light mean? And then you can read it, see what's going on, and then troubleshoot. All right? The other thing I'm having them do is revise this sticker. I want you to take a peek at it. When we want to diagnose, do we have a bad board or do we have a bad fan motor, just by looking at this sticker, we're missing information. So I'm having them make this revision, and they did it. And so once they make this revision, I'm going to email you that new book, so you have that information. Because right now, just by looking at this, you cannot tell. There's no way for us to troubleshoot it. And I don't want you changing the board and the motor. I want you to change the part that's not functioning. All right? I'm going to put that picture up here so that you can see better. Here we go. You see how I circled it? See how I circled it? So we have two plugs. You have your high voltage. You see it is color coded and everything, so we can check that. But the CN16 plug, which is our communicating plug to the motor, we're missing details. But there is no color code, you know. And so now, if you were to call me or you would call Gus, it's like, well, I see the motor's bumping or the fan is not coming on at all. How do we know if it's a bad motor or a bad module in the motor or a bad circuit board? We can't, because I can't ask you on the phone, hey, What's your DC volts between, is this terminal 1? Is that terminal 1? You know what I mean? It's like, because of that lack of detail, I can't help you determine. I know it's 12 volts DC. You need 12 volts DC, but where am I putting my probe to test that? So they understood that. They're making that revision, and as soon as that's done, I think it's already done. I just gotta review it and edit it. And what I'm going to send you should be the revised version. Okay. That way I can tell you, hey, check between terminal 1 and 2, or check the gray wire with the black wire. Do you have 12 volts? If you do, bad motor. If you don't, bad board. You see? That's important information. That way you're not guessing at nothing. Okay? Same thing with the EEV outside. They did the same thing with the EEV outside. So it's not just the indoor. The EEV outside, if you want to ohm it out, should be 45 ohms. But it doesn't tell me which color am I checking that on. So those are the little things that we here. See how they have it. See, they have it broken down wire to wire, but it's not color coded. Therefore, I can't say, hey, check the gray wire with the yellow wire. I can't tell you which one of these wires is my common, so I can check against all the other ones to see if I have 45 ohms. I can't answer that. So that was the other thing that they're working on. So that revised book that I send you is gonna have that detail, so that you have that information. All right. One thing I want to mention. Okay, after you set your unit, all right, the condenser outside needs to be powered for 1 hour before you start the unit. Okay. They're using a common leg in the compressor to warm up the oil. All right. So the first thing you would do is, if there's 2 of you working, one's working the air handler inside and no one's working on the condenser, you set the condenser, do your electric connection first, and then power it up. Then work on making your copper connections while that's being powered up. All right, that's the only thing you might have to do a little bit different in your. No, just the condenser. Yeah, get the power to the condenser so that it can sit for an hour with power to it before you start it. Okay, that's the only thing that's different as far as procedures, because I know every one of you have your own procedure and how you do your install. Keep that in mind with TCL. It has to be powered for at least 1 hour. The condenser. All right. That's it. Okay. Capacitors get charged, oil gets warmed up, and then when you're ready to fire it up, fire it up. And just like we talked about with the ductless product, you weigh your charge in. It comes with refrigerant for up to 25 feet, right? Use the same formula, 0.22 ounces. You do the math, weigh that difference in. And that's after you've pressure tested and pulled your vacuum. You leave the line set in the vacuum, weigh that difference in. 99.5% of the time, your charge is on point when you weigh it in. Compensate for your line, the hoses, and your charge will be on point. Okay. Then you open up your valves slowly, right? Because you don't want the oil to get sucked out of there. You're ready to turn it on. All right. There's a button here. There's 4 buttons up here. It says key 1, 2, 3, and 4. Key 1 and 2 are the 2 buttons that are being used. 3 and 4 right now, they're dormant. They're not used for anything. But key number 2 is the one that you press and hold for a few seconds to activate like high speed or charge mode. All right. So then when you fire up the unit, you put it on full speed, sell that, and then you let it run for at least 20 minutes before you measure your pressures, your superheat, your subcooling, because you have a mechanical TXV in the air handler. So you got to let it run. You got to let it circulate. You got to give that sensing bulb opportunity to sense the superheat and stuff like that. All right, and it stays in charge mode or full speed for, I believe it was an hour and a half, and then it'll time itself out, or you just press and hold the key button again and shut it off. Okay, but that's how you do the charge up for it. You don't want to drop it down 3 degrees and expect it to go on full speed. It won't work like that. You have to activate it. That's the only way you're able to, that's the only way you can check to see if you are properly charged. Okay? Then while it's running for 20 minutes, you start cleaning up a little bit, you know? Then you come back and gather up all your data. Usually we're looking for 10 degrees of subcooling is what we look for. Your temperature difference when you're at that kind of speed, it's going to vary. It could be 18-degree difference. It could be 20-degree difference. But when it's running at normal, you know, when they just set the temperature and walk away, don't be alarmed if you see 23-degree split, 24-degree split. That's normal for a inverter product. Okay? Any questions so far? Did I miss anything? You gotta, come on. You gotta say something. Tell me something. If you like it, or if you don't like it, I'll just be honest. You know, besides technical support and besides training, I do report back to engineering. I have 2 different meetings. Tuesday nights is when I speak with engineering and talk to them about what's come up in the field, right? So that way we can always improve on our product, because we're not, you know, TCL putting the brand on the unit and just coming into the market, it's more to it than that. We have a team of people that we're here for the long term. So with your feedback, you know, we want to make those improvements on this unit when it's needed. You know, I'm going to give you my card, so you have my email address and my work number. You can email me, you can text me. Hey, this is Luke from so-and-so. We met in Boston. I noticed this on this unit. Recommendation. Looking into it. I have my meeting with these guys on Tuesday. Hey, this is a contractor in Boston. His name is Luke. I make sure you get that credit, and maybe we can work on something. I don't know about compensation, but at least get credit for it. We are working on a dealer program, what we call an Inspire Pro dealer program, where being a TCL Inspire Pro dealer, you know, there'll be perks, there'll be spiffs in that program besides the training. We can work on marketing dollars to, you know, wrap your truck or promote you tools or better pricing depending on how much you sell, things of that sort. You know, there's going to be perks to that dealer program as soon as our webpage is done. They've been working on that for several months now. Because one of the things that I wanted them to put in there was, if a homeowner wanted to TCL product and they're looking for a TCL dealer, they put the zip code in there, and you know, your company name pops up. You know, that's part of the perks. But that's my work cell number. If you want to reach out to me, you know, you shoot me a text. It's the best way. So that way, if I'm traveling or if I'm on the other line talking with somebody, I will answer your text. You need one too? And that way, if Gus is tied up, you know, is on vacation or something, you still have a way to get to me. All right? You have my email, so if you want to, any questions you have on anything, shoot me an email. All right? There's so many different ways that you can reach me, and I will answer you. I will answer your questions. And this is not going to be my first time here. I'll be coming back, and like I said, I have no issues doing site visits with you and helping you resolve any issues you have in the field to make your customer happy.